Pugs are fucking ugly. I was surprised when I also found out that most small dogs have to get puppies through surgery. Otherwise the dog giving birth dies. Then that made me think. So if humans went extinct, then they would too? They would not just for that reason. I watched a documentary about what would happen if humans just abruptly disappeared from the earth. One of the topics they covered was dogs, and most would perish because we've bred the majority of their hunting instincts out of them. They are used to having food and shelter being given to them every day. If we weren't around, they would have to break out of whatever house or enclosure they were in first, and then try and find food and clean water after. Most smaller species and toy dogs would die within the first week. If they did manage to escape, they would become food for the bigger dogs. Yes, one of my favorite documentary series called Life After People. If I remember correctly, one episode explained that the Queen's Corgis would probably be the last dogs to die indoors because of all the bathrooms in Buckingham Palace providing temporary toilet water for them. The explanation of our indoor pets dying of dehydration and or starvation is very sad. Where can I watch this documentary? Seems kinda interesting. NGL. A couple of weeks ago I saw a lady walking two overweight pugs. One of them suddenly stopped walking, then a few seconds later it threw up all over the ground. I'll never forget how truly disgusting that was to witness. I came across a lady with her pug on a walk by the river recently. She was scooping up water and splashing it on the pug because the poor thing was overheating and hyperventilating, looking like it was about to keel over. It was eventually okay, but it was shitty to see that this dog couldn't even go on a casual walk by the river without nearly dying. I have walked pugs, and they are extremely low on stamina. They have very small nostrils and usually start hyperventilating after very small runs or even walks. While I don't doubt the pug had low stamina, they usually do. The reason they begin to pant so quickly and heavily is because they sweat through their tongue, not their nose. If you touch one it's dry, so that's just their method of keeping cool. Yes, actually the fact that they sweat through their tongues is true in fact for all dogs. They sweat through their tongues, but breathe through the nostrils. Basically adds to their misery. Did you watch the Salmonella Academy video too? Yes, look at the desk and it looks like a goddamn door stopper with 4 tiny useless limbs stapled to it. I feel some pugs suffer a lot, but it's overlooked due to their popularity. Just want them to be healthy. Shouldn't care what they look like. Dog owners' vanity just causes problems for the animals. The problem is when people buy dogs as an accessory, rather than looking to give an animal a good home. If you are buying an accessory, you only care about what it looks like. Agreed. Most likely pug owners bought the dog because they saw somebody else with one, who saw somebody else with one, etc. I accept people saying they are ugly cute. I honestly can only see ugly. Are pugs cute or ugly? Yes. Just ugly. They're pugly. Came here for this. My dad is a vet, and he has talked about how good it would be if we stopped allowing pugs to breed and let the breed die out. Besides the breathing and paralysis problems mentioned, there's an issue with the eyes. When I worked for him, I saw a pug come in 3 times because he ran into a wall. His eyes were pointing in different directions, so he could see depth clearly, and knocked out a fucking eyeball. Eventually the muscles in the eye socket got so stretched and weakened that even after surgery, the eye would just fall out. Had to have it amputated. This poor dog had its eye amputated by no fault of its own. Its owner spent thousands of dollars on this problem. It's an absolute tragedy and the breed needs to go extinct. I work as a vet tech. One time we had a pug post anesthesia wake up, but was still a bit induced. We left the tracheal pipe in his throat till he woke up, and no joke, when he woke up he almost seemed elated he was able to breathe properly. Even now with COVID and curbside visits we take pugs inside as they are most likely to have a heat stroke, since they are so poorly figured. That's so sad. The breathing thing is depressing. I grew up in rural Florida and these dogs would just suffer in the summer with the heat and humidity. I think they're cute, but yes they do have health problems. This is a fairly popular opinion though, at least in this sub. Oh yay they're cute, that's the popular. It's whether if they should exist or not that comes into question. They're just problematic. 100% it's inhuman to purchase or breed a pug. We should stop breeding them. It should be illegal to breed them. We should allow existing pugs to live their life peacefully, but we should cut this S out. I've seen some articles saying that there's been some pressure on Crufts to admit retro pugs, which are basically pugs with actual snoots. It's kinda sad that what should be considered normal pugs are retro. Honestly, the whole dog show industry is disgusting. There was once a story where one of the judges or something of the AKC or some similar organization talking casually about how they culled ridgebacks that didn't have the ridge. Yeah, I fully support retro pugs, though technically normal is the majority, not what should be normal. We need to stop people buying pugs and stop breeders breeding them. They are trying to force/highly encourage the breeding of only retro pugs now. They are pugs that are how the breed was meant to be. No flat faces, no fucked up skulls, proper body and bone structure, no breathing problems and little health issues. I'm all for letting flat-faced pugs become obsolete and be replaced with healthy retros. They're also way cuter. They are cuter because they don't look like I stuck my face into a burnt pancake. They have a body shape comparable to that of a Vienna sausage. Don't drag pugs down to my level. I agree, I don't want a dog that looks like its face got bashed in by a frying pan. Cats as well. The breed called Exotic Shorthair has basically had its nose bred away. You can hear them trying to breathe from across the room. Make up your own jokes instead of copy and pasting from Sam's video. Ugly, expensive, fart a lot, breathe loudly. Yes, but she's still my wife. Dad, son of a bitch. Literally ruined it for me. I have a French bulldog, related to but not as deformed as pugs, Peresi, that I rescued from an owner who paid $4,000 to have him bred. I got him for free, who was going to put him in a shelter because the older dog keeps attacking it. The dog was still a puppy, only 4 months old, and lived a terrified and lonely life in a cage, utterly ignored. Mr. Kiwi is now 2 years old and lives an incredibly happy and much loved life. But onto the matter at hand. I have learned of all the struggles my dog will have in the future: lung and breathing, skin, hips and spine. I love that dog to death, and he is the most affectionate little lump. But it really is heartbreaking to know I will have to watch him suffer for God knows how long when he is older. So, as much as I love my Kiwi, I still have to agree with Op about the terrible genetic effects of this kind of breeding. Not all French bulldogs have issues. I have 4 in the family. 1 is 15. None have breathing issues, snore. All are in great shape. Not one issue with any of mine. Also, they are very easy to train. IDK. Everyone is going to have a different experience. These are mine. I know a lot of people who have French bulldogs. Some have issues. Some don't. Oh, so there is hope. My guy snores, but only if not lying on his stomach. And thankfully, he doesn't have any real health issues yet. But I do worry about his future health. I do feed him a very clean diet focused on raw meats and berries and some leafy greens, among other foods, and it's doing him a world of good. Thank you for letting me know they can age and maintain health. All I ever read about is they go crippled and can't breathe. It kills me to think my little couch goblin will suffer throughout his final years. I too only feed my French's raw diet only with probiotics. None of them have gas issues. From time to time, but nothing like most French's experience. That's wonderful to hear your guys in great health. Well, someone watched that salmonella video. So, they've actually started to being back the breed of pugs that are how they normally look, and are actually cute, and have very little health problems. They are called retro pugs, and they have the cuteness pugs were meant to have without all the issues. No flat faces, no bulging eyes, no breathing issues from fucked up skulls, proper bone structure and good bodies. Pug breeders and people wishing to buy pugs are being urged to only buy retro pugs, so that the flat-faced pugs can basically go extinct. Mainly so we stop breeding pugs that suffer their whole lives, and also so that pugs can get back to how the breed was meant to be originally. OMG, that sounds great. I love retro pugs. I have never seen one, but I love them, and hope they spread in high numbers. People realize they should go for the healthy option. I don't think this is unpopular, but maybe I just agree so hard with you and I'm blinded to the masses. Pugs are ugly and the breeding is unhealthy. I abhor people who keep buying them. I love pugs and think they are adorable. I have had pugs my whole life and have so many happy memories with the little fuzzy mutants. They should all be sterilized and not bred anymore. All of my dad's pugs came with serious health problems or birth defects. Missing eyes, deviated septums, poor teeth, etc. He had a good friend who was a breeder, and whenever he had a dog that was too malformed to sell, boom. Free sterilized dog. I worked summers at the breeding kennel when I was a teen and saw some dogs too malformed to even take home. It was heartbreaking. I've seen some news about people trying to breed in some new blood to get healthier, longer pugs. I'm okay with that. But the ones that need help to even breathe need to be removed from the gene pool.